You do not need to reinvent the wheel every single time that you launch. My name is Riley. I'm the KSA project manager, and in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about how you can duplicate, reuse, and enhance all of the assets that you've used in a previous launch in Kajabi to your new launch. That way, it saves you time, energy, and is the most efficient use of all of the platform inside Kajabi. So let's talk about it. First, I want to say if you've already launched in Kajabi, you probably have a sales page, you probably have a launch vehicle inside here, whether it's a webinar or a challenge or a video series, and you probably already have all of your emails in here. So if you've never done that before, we have other videos on our YouTube channel on how to set up sales pages and webinars, so make sure to go check those out. So, assuming you already have all of those things, let's talk about how you can reset them to use them for a current launch. Right now, what I'm going to show you is I have my webinar registration page and my course sales page right here. Now, let's say after every launch, once you close cart, you are not done launching. The first thing you need to do is go through your sales page, see how well it converted. You need to go through your sales emails, your emails day by day, your sales day by day, and really take a deep dive on those analytics. That will help you to be able to determine if you have really high open rates and click rates on your emails, but they're going to your sales page and it's just a dead end from there might be something on the sales page that you need to tweak. Or if people are opening your emails and just not clicking, maybe let's see if we can do some digging inside those emails to see what we're talking about that's not getting them to click. So it's always really important after a launch to do a deep dive and see how overall your launch did and why. So with that in mind, I have my webinar registration page and my course sales page here. For the sake of this launch, let's say I don't necessarily want to make direct edits on my current webinar page in case I want to go back and use a previous version. So instead of going directly inside and customizing it, what I would do is I would just duplicate it and then update the duplicated version so that I have the original version that I used and the duplicated version that I can make my tweaks on for the launch I'm getting ready to have happen. Once I do that, let's take a look at the webinar registration page. Let's say this is my duplicated version. At this point, there's probably going to be dates at the top of my webinar, so I'm going to update that. This form is probably the form that I used in the last webinar, so I'm going to set up a brand new form. It can have new dates attached to the form. So in a previous video, I've talked about how when you set up a webinar form, it's good to have tags based on the date of the class. That way you can see when people came in. So I'm going to set up a new form and put it on this page. If there was any tweaks that I wanted to make to the page, I would start making tweaks to copy here. Again, you want to be controlled with this. So don't completely overhaul it unless you know the webinar registration page is something that you need to completely overhaul. I would reset the timer to make sure that it's live and going. And then this is where my webinar registration page would be done. Any tweaks I need to make, whether it's tweaks to the content, whether it's just tweaks to the dates, and it's the exact same webinar, which is rinse and repeat, which we love. So this is where I would update that. Then if you're on your course page, I would do the same thing. So if you want to keep your first page as the control and then you want to duplicate, this is where I would go and I would update my course page. So again, let's say people are coming on this course page and for whatever reason, they are just falling off or they're clicking the button, they go to my checkout and again, they're just not pressing buy, then I know the course page is something that I probably would want to update, whether it's copy, maybe it's more visuals, maybe I need to load it with testimonials. So really it's helpful to go back, look at how a previous launch went, and then update from here. So at this point, I've updated my webinar page and my course page. In the back end of the webinar, I've updated the form. I've updated emails that are attached to the form, all of those things. And there's a video separate from this one all about how to set that up. Now I'm going to update emails. So again, this will save you a lot of time. So for the sake of this example, I have a bunch of our KSA Black Friday emails, or we call them Pink Friday emails. From here, what I would do is at this point, I will already have known which emails are my highest open rates. I definitely want to use subject lines like those ones. Which one had higher click rates? Which one had lower click rates? And once I've taken a good look at those, I can come in and duplicate. I can even add them to folders if I want or save them as templates. And then I can update those emails. That way, again, we're not reinventing the whole wheel, but we're rinsing and repeating a solid launch. That way we can really make sure that we're using all of the assets to the best of our abilities. If you would like a little bit more information on launching, we have Trello and Asana templates that are amazing for helping you keep everything organized for your launches, whether it's a first time you've ever launched or you're rinsing and repeating. So make sure to check those out in the link below. And if you're listening to this and you want someone to help you set up a launch from scratch and really get you in a position to where you can rinse and repeat launches like this, send us an email at hello@catchmary.com, and the KSA team would love to jump into the back end of your Kajabi account and help you make your next launch a success. We'll see you in the next video.